And joining us now is Pras Subramanian with Yahoo Autos. Pras, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Natasha. Thanks for having me.
Any surprises in these results for you? I mean, only one of these cars had a good rating.
I think that is surprising that only the Honda Accord of all these models, of the six sedans, midsize sedans, actually got that approved safety rating for the rear seat passengers. You know, it is the newest car, so maybe that actually helped its rating there. But I want to note that the IIHS did a new type of crash test where they did a frontal collision with when both corners hit each other, frontals, as if a car was merging across the center lane. So it is a very high impact type of incident. And it's sort of surprising that only now we're seeing that smaller rear seat passengers, that's the smaller passenger test dummies in the back, having a profound effect there for substantial injuries for most of these cars. So it is surprising, but also it's not surprising the fact that we have bigger cars out there, and those are more dangerous too.
Interesting. I mean, and you're talking about these littler crash test dummies. I mean, these are representing children, right, who are sitting in the back seat. That it's scary for parents. I want to ask, in your experience, when people are coming in and they're looking for a car, especially in the economy and everyone wanting to stretch a dollar right now, how much weight is the American consumer putting on tests like this at the end of the day? I mean, aren't people really buying what they can afford these days?
Yeah, it really is a mix of affordability and safety. I think you're right, Natasha, along with people with smaller families and know that they have kids, or smaller children, they have kids sitting in the back. It's very important to have that rear seat passenger safety. I think people feel more safe in bigger cars with the bigger footprints, but ultimately sometimes that can lead to more injuries because the bigger cars cause more damage, cause more accidents. A new study by a research institute found that bigger cars actually cause more damage with cyclists and also pedestrians. So that's also an issue too. But you're absolutely right. Affordability is a big issue, but also safety of the rear seat passengers.
You know, it's gotten a lot harder to buy cars between inventory. We hear about that all the time. Interest rates as well. What do people need to weigh when making a final decision? I mean, a safe car versus what is actually available right now and what we can afford.
You know, recently the big issue has been supply. There hasn't been many supply in terms of used car lots as well as new car lots. Now we're seeing that improve, but on the flip side, we're seeing affordability decrease with the higher rates and factors like that. So that's one of the kind of the mix there for people looking for new cars or used cars in this market. But I think groups like the IIHS and also Consumer Reports are great with regards to cross-shopping different competitors, find those right models that fit for people in this sort of environment. Also want to note that gas prices also sort of fluctuating and back to recent highs. We're seeing more people go into hybrids and EVs as well, and that's actually kind of improving that affordability mix for these buyers. And also we're seeing the rates actually sort of improve just a little bit here, but not as much as we'd like to see for people to buy new cars.
Yeah, Pras, lightning fast for you. In terms of balancing overall safety and also value and availability, what is your pick right now? What should people be buying?
You know, I think I mentioned EVs. I'm a big fan of the Chevy Bolt EV. I think it's a great value for a car that's under $30,000. That's an EV with around 250 miles of range. I think it's most appropriate for a lot of people. I think it's a great pick. We also drove the Hyundai Santa Fe. It's an all-new, smaller crossover SUV that I think it hits all the marks for people that want safety as well as reliability and also really a lot of features for a good price set. I would say in the truck space, if you're looking for a mid-size, I would say the new GMC Canyon and also the Chevy Colorado, those just came out as mid-sized pickups that are actually gaining good marks so far. We'll get into that vehicle soon, but I'm hearing good things about it.
Okay, appreciate it. You could just rattle it off the top of your head. Pras Subramanian, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.